10 years into our marriage, Lu Ruiyan told me she had found the true love of her life. She said that man was simple, not calculating like me. He came to her not for money, but only for feelings, and that what they had was true love. My father-in-law merely sighed when he heard the news. Lauda, I'm not criticizing you, but you've become too focused on money lately. My brother-in-law patted my shoulder, his tone both blaming and mocking. Brother-in-law, my sister is talented and beautiful. It's normal for some young guys to pursue her. They spoke lightly, as if betrayal was a harmless habit. I only stayed silent, turned around, and told the accountant, stop all her cards, cut all her expenses, change the locks, consider this the final break. On our 10th wedding anniversary, I had originally planned a surprise for her. I had booked a small party and personally arranged everything, something I never had to do myself before. But somehow, that day I wanted to check on things in person. Lu Ruiyan's car stopped at the entrance of the small alley, and my heart fluttered slightly. She is so smart, could she have guessed I wanted to create a surprise? Thinking this, a warm feeling welled up in my heart. 10 years, and love could still coexist like this. That's what I thought. Afraid of ruining the surprise, I didn't take the main path but circled to the back. This was where we once held our wedding reception. An old dining hall I had rented and decorated exactly like 10 years ago, rustic, simple, but filled with memories. Behind it was the kitchen area, where the chef I hired was busy preparing the food. The space was quiet, with only the sounds of knives and cutting boards, and the faint smell of food lingering in the air. I walked along the dark wall, intending to silently head toward the front hall. Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out, Lu Ruiyan's voice. He's pulling some trick again today. He probably wants me to pretend to love him in front of others. I'm sick of looking at him now, everything that comes out of his mouth is money, and when he closes his eyes, it's also money. He sees nothing but money. Then there were hurried gasps and soft collisions. A chill spread down my spine. I recognized that sound too clearly. I forced myself to take a deep breath, trying to stay calm. My eyes gradually adjusted to the darkness. I crept along the wall toward the source of the noise. Through a small gap in the door, I saw her standing in a small room with the curtains drawn, yet enough for me to see that familiar curve of her body. Lu Ruiyan was in the arms of a man. They were clutching each other tightly, sharing a long kiss. My hands trembled uncontrollably. I had survived countless business battles and fierce competitions, but I had never felt so weak. From dating to marriage, we had been together for 15 years. And in the end, all I received was one sentence, he is my true love. I stood silent in the darkness, listening to the slow, steady rhythm of my heart breaking. Wait a few more years, when the children are older, I'll find a way to leave him. Lu Ruiyan's voice was as soft as ever, but every word that fell into my ears was bone-chilling. I couldn't bear to listen for another second. Rage surged into my chest, and I kicked the door wide open, stepping inside. No need to wait. If you want a divorce, let's do it now. The loud bang of the door made both people in the room freeze. Lu Ruiyan frantically pushed the man away, and only then did I clearly see the face of Yi Dengcheng, a student once sponsored by my company. He had attended the year-end party once, polite, calm, with eyes still clear, belonging to someone who had never known the world operated on anything other than dreams. Perhaps it was those very eyes that had softened Lu Ruiyan's heart. Yi Dengcheng wore a simple denim jacket and dark jeans, his appearance neat and clean, truly the simple, unworldly type she had mentioned. It's just that without my money, I wonder if he would have the strength to step out of the mountain he called idealism. You misunderstood. Yi Dengcheng and I are nothing. Let me explain. She quickly regained her composure, lightly smoothed her hair, her voice calm as if she hadn't just been caught in the act of betrayal. I looked at the woman in front of me, the one I had cherished for 15 years. I had made her life too easy. At 40, she still maintained a clear gaze and a soft figure like a 30-year-old. No wonder young men were willing to rush in, thinking they were saving a lonely soul. I heard everything. No need for explanations. If you want a divorce, let's finish it today. I won't act out this play of happiness anymore. I gave a hollow laugh, my gaze as cold as ice water. Don't pressure her. She's only thinking of the children. Yi Dongcheng's voice trembled, as if defending something sacred. I turned back and looked straight at him. My children are old enough to understand betrayal. A mother who betrays her husband, do you think that's a good example? And if this marriage isn't happy, don't use the children as an excuse. The smile that briefly crossed my lips was thin and cold. Lu Ruyan looked guilty, her eyes wavering. She took a few steps forward, attempting to grab my hand, but I violently shook her off. That gesture made Yi Dongcheng's eyes flare red. He ran up and grabbed her arm, his voice choked, "Don't be afraid. Don't let him hurt you." I chuckled softly. Truly a perfect, sincerely naive performance, worthy of applause for true love. Just then, loud laughter and voices echoed outside the door. A group of people entered, my father-in-law, brother-in-law, and relatives from her side of the family. They arrived earlier than expected for the anniversary party I had prepared. The year we got married, we both had nothing. My company was just starting up, she was only a teacher with a meager salary. We married in a small school dining hall, humble but full of warmth. I had thought tonight, when the party ended, I would take her back to that place, reliving our first days. Now, just thinking about it made me feel disgusted with myself. Everyone quickly noticed the strange atmosphere. Their eyes lingered on the three of us in turn, then looked away. No one said anything, but everyone understood. My father-in-law cleared his throat, trying to dispel the tension. "You're here, sit down at the table. Why are you just standing around?" My brother-in-law, Lu Wentao, stepped next to me and grabbed my hand, his voice low but full of warning. "Brother-in-law, my sister is talented and beautiful. It's normal for a few people to notice her. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just coax her a little and everything will be fine." I looked down at the hand holding mine, sensing the clumsy, uncomfortable, utterly fake squeeze. I pushed it away, coldly, as if brushing off a bothersome speck of dirt. Lu Wentao's fingers dug tightly into my arm, his voice low but every word was clearly heard. "Brother-in-law, my sister is talented and beautiful. It's normal for people to pursue her. Just tolerate it a bit, coax her with a few words, and she won't change her mind." I looked at the hand holding mine, a touch so fake it was irritating. I shook it off, the push was a little too strong. He staggered, bumping into the corner of the table, his face instantly flushed red, his eyes revealing clear frustration. Seeing this, my father-in-law interjected, his voice heavy, "Lauda, I'm not criticizing you, but you're too autocratic now. Everything in the house has to go your way. We came here today out of respect for you. If you keep being so confrontational, you can celebrate by yourself." I chuckled softly. So, they thought coming here was out of respect for me. How ridiculous. I stepped forward, my gaze resting on where Lu Ruyan stood, my voice deep, not loud, but heavy as iron. "You know my nature. It's come to this, there's no turning back. When you want to go through with the divorce procedures, you pick the time." Her expression hardened. Lu Ruyan had never been disgraced like this before. She lives for face, and for many years, I had always tried to protect it for her. But once she chose confrontation, I had no reason to be lenient. "Tomorrow," she said, her voice trembling, but her eyes strained to maintain a facade of calm. "I'll go with you tomorrow." With that, she pulled Yi Dongcheng by the arm and left the place amid everyone's stunned gazes. I also turned to leave, but my father-in-law called after me. "What about the party? See, if you just compromised a little, wouldn't everything be peaceful?" I stopped, turned back to look at him, my voice so cold it made the listener flinch. "Your daughter cheated, not me. Why should I lower myself?" He slammed his cane onto the floor in anger. "All you think about now is money. You're never home all day, what woman wouldn't get tired of that? Who can keep their heart in check? You should look at yourself." I looked at him for a long time, my eyes welling up, my voice soft yet firm. "Then tell the daughter who is tired of me to take you traveling. Don't come looking for me." He choked on his words, only letting out a heavy grunt before turning and walking away. Leaving the restaurant, I didn't see Lu Ruyan's car. She had vanished. I no longer had time for emotions to dictate my actions and immediately drove home. There was too much to clean up. I didn't want things to get complicated further. Ba Huang and 3 assistants were waiting at the gate, all looking tense, as if preparing to step into a battlefield. I only said briefly, "Cancel his surgery." The pen in Ba Huang's hand dropped onto the desk. He looked up, his voice trembling. "Sir, cancel it for real?" That kidney transplant was difficult to find a suitable source for. If we abandon it now, it will be hard to find another later. I looked up, my eyes frigid. Am I giving an order, or do you think you have the right to debate with me? Ba Huang's face turned pale. He quickly bowed his head. "No, I'll do it right away." I leaned back in my chair and closed my eyes for a moment. An image from a dozen years ago appeared. When Lu Ruiyan gave birth to our first child, her father was diagnosed with acute kidney failure. At that time, we didn't have a penny. She knelt by the hospital bed, crying and slapping her own face, only able to say sorry. I held the baby and ran everywhere to raise money, and in the end, it was still me who found the life-saving transplant for him. That year, she hugged me and cried, saying that without me, she would have no one left in the world. She said I was her benefactor, the one she would love forever. And now, that benefactor is the one they collectively look down upon. That year, when her father was on the brink of death, I was the one who ran around, gathering every penny to save him from the gates of hell. When the surgery was successful, Lu Ruiyan hugged me tightly and cried, her tears soaking my shoulder. She said, without me, she would have no one left in the world. Said I was her benefactor, the one she would love for the rest of her life. 15 years later, that vow sounds truly laughable. In her eyes, I am now just a money-obsessed person, the one whose presence tainted her pure love with materialism. I have nothing left to hold on to. That afternoon, I gave Ba Huang the order. Lock all their bank cards, supplementary accounts, monthly expenses, stop everything. He immediately understood. I continued, change all the locks in the villa. For the cars in the garage, except for mine, no one is allowed to touch them. As soon as the command was given, the atmosphere in the house became heavy. I sat down, poured a glass of water, and silently observed the assistants busy carrying out the orders. A faint smile crossed my lips. Perhaps for the first time in years, I felt so composed. I wanted to see who would be the first to crack. It was night, and the villa was unusually quiet. The pale yellow light cast long shadows of me on the cold tile floor. I guessed that Lu Ruiyan was now in the arms of her true love, complaining about the suffering of living with me, the man who only knew money. Her father must have been dragged away by the flattering relatives to play cards, taking the opportunity to extract a little more cash from the wallet of a rich, uncaring man like me. And my brother-in-law was probably traveling with his new girlfriend, happily spending the money I regularly transferred to him monthly. It's just that when it comes time to pay, he will discover the card can no longer be swiped. Fine. I need that time to rearrange everything, to prepare for the final step so Lu Ruiyan can leave cleanly, unencumbered by anything that belongs to me. The kids were off school for the weekend. I called them into the study, my voice deep and calm. I need to talk. Your mother and I are getting a divorce. Who do you want to live with? Xian, the elder son, thought for a moment, then looked up, his eyes determined. I'll live with Dad. Why? I asked again. He answered, his voice firm. Since I was little, Mom only knew how to discipline but was never truly present for me. When I was sick, Dad was the one who stayed up all night. When there was a parent-teacher meeting, no matter how busy he was, Dad still came. I don't need a mother who only exists in name. I looked at my son in silence, my heart constricting, then turned to ask Rui. The little girl bowed her head, her voice quiet but certain. I'll live with Dad too. Mom is always teaching, I barely see her. I pulled them both close, hugging them tight. In that moment, I knew I was right. A decaying marriage only leads to more pain if preserved. 3 days later, the first person to crack was my father-in-law. He was brought home by the relatives, knocking relentlessly, his voice full of fury. Open the door, Chi Boda, open the door for me. I had instructed the housekeeper beforehand that no one was allowed to open it. He rang the bell repeatedly with no answer, finally calling me directly. I stood by the second floor window, looking down as I answered the phone. What kind of staff do you hire? No one in the house is opening the door. Tell them to come out now. I answered calmly. You called the wrong number. This is my house. Your daughter and I are about to divorce. From now on, you should find her, don't call me anymore. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds, then his voice broke. Divorce? You dare. I'm serious. You'd better not come back here. This is my daughter's house. You have no right to kick me out. His shout echoed in the yard, harsh and strained with anger. I quietly hung up the phone. Whispers from the relatives filtered in from outside the door. Are they really getting a divorce? See? I told you. This son-in-law is no good. Ryan insisted on marrying him back then. I warned her it wouldn't last. I stood still in the darkness, listening to the noise outside fade. I didn't know if it was tragedy or liberation, I just felt strangely empty. I spoke frankly, I saved your life, you should have a conscience. On the other end of the line was sobbing, then a scream. My transplant was cancelled? If it's cancelled, aren't you trying to kill me? You are too cruel. Are you trying to harm people to get my money? I gave a dry laugh, my voice cold. The money belongs to your daughter. If you think I'm greedy for money, then stop using my money, that's slander. Having said that, I hung up and blocked his number. Through the window, I saw him throw the phone to the ground, crying out like a lost person. The relatives worriedly intervened. Uncle, don't be crazy. Her son-in-law is like this and that, rethink it. I just looked on coldly. The money, the house, everything belongs to your daughter, I'm giving it back to her. The children are my right. There was another sound of screeching brakes. Lu Wentao rushed out, his face flushed with anger. He punched the gate hard and shouted, Chi Boda, are you crazy? You dare to lock my card. I couldn't pay. You coward, open the door. He called and cursed loudly. I picked up the phone leisurely, even before bringing it to my ear, I heard his yelling. Chi Boda, you bastard, open the door for me now. If my father gets sick because of this, I won't let it go. I put the phone to my ear, my voice steady, not heated. Lu Wentao, shut up. I know what I'm doing. If your father wants to stay here, he can come in, but this is my house. Your wife and I are getting a divorce. Don't come here to bother me anymore. He was silent for a moment, then cursed again loudly. I listened and smiled faintly, the smile of someone who has made up his mind. They can scream, they can insult, but I have put everything in its place. You can't bring him back. I said, my voice composed to the point of coldness. If you want, I'll call him so we can clarify everything face to face. Half an hour later, Lu Rian actually appeared, with Yi Dengcheng by her side. But I knew they didn't come because of Lu Wentao's plea, but because Yi Dengcheng's sponsorship project had just been completely cancelled by me. He stood outside the gate, his voice hoarse with anger. Chi Boda, open the door. I looked at the scene, slowly stepping forward, the heavy iron gate separating the two sides, as cold as the final boundary in this marriage. What is it? Speak here. The three people standing outside argued chaotically. I raised my hand, a small gesture, and the atmosphere immediately went silent. Lu Rian stepped forward, her eyes filled with indignation. Chi Boda, I once thought you were a straightforward person. I never expected to be so wrong. I smiled faintly. Do you even have the right to use the words straightforward? She gritted her teeth, her voice trembling. Why do you have to target Yi Dengcheng? If there's a problem, just aim it at me. I answered, every word clear. To you, I am your husband. To him, I am the one who once paid for his education, helping him change his life. Now he lives on my money and turns around to seduce my wife. Am I wrong to do this? Yi Dengcheng interrupted, his face flushed. Don't speak in such an unpleasant way. Lu Ruyan and I are simply kindred spirits. I looked straight at him, my gaze cold as a knife blade. Kindred spirits, does that mean hugging each other, kissing each other, sharing a bed, or is that also part of the kindred spirits you speak of? He lowered his head, his eyes bloodshot, his voice choked. You are going too far. You are bullying people. I smirked. If not letting you use my money is called bullying, then fine. I admit it. But from now on, live by your own means and remember to pay back every penny I spent. Call it the first step toward the cleanliness and integrity you are always so proud of. Dengcheng clenched his fist tightly, glaring at me. Are you trying to destroy me? I answered coldly. No, I just want to see whether you ultimately choose to die or choose to live for yourself. Then I turned to Lu Ruyan. We will go through with the divorce procedures tomorrow. A flicker of fear crossed her eyes, followed by a mix of resentment and confusion. Chi Boda, you are no longer the person I once knew. How could you change so much? I looked at her, my voice gently deepening. It's not that I changed, but that for the past 15 years, I have been too patient, to the point where you forgot where my limits lie. Fine, I said. My voice was calm, but my eyes were cold as water. Then let's start fixing things, one by one. Everything must return to its proper place. Lu Ruyan gave a faint laugh, her voice turning bitter. If you've made up your mind, then call the lawyer. We'll proceed with the asset division. I burst out laughing, the dry sound echoing in the silent space. Lu Ruyan, do you know what you are saying? I looked at her, my eyes unable to hide the sarcasm. Since the day we married, how much have you earned that you can call your own assets? Your salary, you kept. As for me, I supported this entire family, both your parents, and you. Now you want to split half. Lu Wentao immediately cut in, a smug look on his face. In any case, it's still community property acquired after marriage. My sister has the right to half. I raised an eyebrow slightly, looking at him. Truly the son of an educated family, every word is smooth. It's just a pity that the principal you mentioned seems to forget the first part, the betrayer loses the right to an equal share. I glanced over at Dengcheng, who stood there, pale and afraid to meet my gaze. Lu Ruyan lightly touched his arm, her voice shaking slightly, it's okay. He doesn't have proof. I smirked, no proof. I raised my hand to signal. Ba Huang immediately stepped forward and handed me a large folder. I opened it, pulled out a stack of photos, and threw them directly in front of them. The papers fluttered onto the ground, like a knife slicing through the facade of dignity she had tried to maintain for years. Lu Wentao picked one up, glanced at it, and his face turned ashen. Sister, what have you done? Lu Ruyan lowered her head, her shoulders trembling, her face flushed, unable to utter a word. I said nonchalantly, these pictures were taken from the hotel surveillance camera. The quality is a bit blurry, but if you look closely, you can still recognize who's who. I paused briefly, my voice lowering, sharp as a razor's edge. Lu Ruyan, if I send these pictures to the school where you teach, I'm sure it would be very educational. She retreated in panic, her voice catching. How dare you? If you make this public, I will kill myself for you to see. I looked at her without any fluctuation. Then obediently signed this. I signaled an assistant to step forward and present the ready-made divorce agreement. Lu Ruyan's hand trembled, but before she could take the pen, Lu Wentao lunged forward and snatched it away. Don't sign it. If you sign, you'll lose everything. Immediately after, Lu Zhengwo also interjected, his voice sharp. My daughter has been with you for so many years, given birth to 2 children for you. Now you're telling her to leave empty-handed? You must divide a portion, regardless. I looked at both of them and only felt ridiculous. Your whole lives you've lived off my money, and now you're talking about dividing assets? Truly bottomless greed. Lu Wentao tried to intervene again. At worst, we'll sue. If he doesn't give it, we'll drag this out. Hearing that, I just wanted to laugh out loud. They still thought this was a game, still believed I had enough patience to be lenient. They didn't understand that when I truly wanted to end things, all their paths had no way of turning back. You still dare to mention the children? I looked directly at them, my voice hoarse from restraint. When we first married, my company was still in the startup phase. I handled everything myself. There were days I was too busy to even eat one meal. And you, every day after school, you stayed until evening, rarely coming home. I ran around drinking with clients, giving myself stomach ulcers. And how many of the children's parent-teacher meetings have you ever attended? I paused, breathing heavily. It's humiliating to say, but I was once foolish enough to endure all of it just because of one sentence from you. You are the person I love most in this life. Now that I think about it, it turns out I was just the most blind person in this relationship. Yi Dengcheng suddenly stood up, his voice agitated. Don't bring up those things to pressure Lu Ruyan. She has told me everything. I narrowed my eyes and asked slowly, what did she tell you? She was busy with her thesis, and you didn't understand her. She stayed up all night preparing lessons, and you made her go make milk for the baby. When she was tired, you still asked her to go pick up the children at the hospital. Do you know that every time you intervened like that, you were destroying the inspiration of an academic? She is a gifted person, but you are the one who made her lose the light within her. I almost laughed hearing that. What a perfect performance. I looked over at Lu Jiangwo and Lu Wentao. Those two also stood stunned, seemingly not having fully grasped the meaning of those words. The brain is truly a precious thing, I said slowly. It's just a pity not everyone is born with one. I glanced at Yi Dengcheng, my voice deepening. Next time I sponsor a student, I must definitely perform a psychological evaluation first, to avoid wasting money and effort on educating someone no different from a dreamy child. I turned back to Lu Ruyan, my gaze strangely calm. Do you think a woman who doesn't take care of her children, doesn't maintain the home, and only knows how to complain is an ideal model? Or do you expect me to also regard you as a genius ruined by life's necessities? Yi Dengcheng still refused to stop, his voice full of fervor. You don't understand. She is not like ordinary people. Forcing her to do those things is nothing short of wasting a treasure. I looked at him, slowly nodded, and then turned to Lu Ruyan. Then good. You have found someone who understands you. I wish you well. Now take him away. Don't let me have to see a genius imprisoned in this mediocre house. I signaled to the assistant, pointing to the divorce agreement already placed on the table. Now sign it. Free yourselves both. Lu Ruyan paused slightly. Everything was happening too fast, and her eyes flashed with confusion. Behind her, Lu Jiangwo and Lu Wentao still tried to hold her back. Don't sign. If you sign, you'll have nothing left. Yi Dengcheng gently placed his hand on her shoulder, his voice as soft as honey. Sign it. Once you sign, you'll be free. No one will hold you back anymore. You'll be yourself. His words were like a hypnotic drug seeping into her ears. I saw a faint light in Lu Ruyan's eyes, the light of someone deluding herself that this was the right path. I placed the pen and pushed the new agreement forward. She shook off the hands of her relatives, trembled as she took the pen, and signed her name quickly. Her handwriting was flowing, resolute, and quite beautiful. She looked up, her eyes arrogant, her voice icy. Now are you satisfied? I looked at her, the woman who once said she would love me forever, and suddenly felt so alienated that I no longer recognized her. In that moment, I suddenly understood that what I lost was not just a marriage but the last bit of faith I had in love. My foolish girl, it's over now. Lu Jiangwo slumped down, his face ash gray. Beside him, Lu Wentao also sighed, too exhausted to argue anymore. Both of them knew everything had ended, and this time, they truly lost. I held the divorce agreement in my hand, finally feeling a burden lift from my heart. Perhaps I should thank Yi Dengcheng. If it weren't for him, this marriage might not have ended so easily. Given the nature of Lu Jiangwo and Lu Wentao, I feared that if they weren't cornered, they would surely flay a layer of my skin or squeeze a few tens of millions out of me before letting go. I chuckled faintly, my voice steady and cold. Actually, I should thank Yi Dengcheng, the simple, kind, and brave one. Thanks to him, Lu Ruyan fell into this daze of love. Now it's good. While they treat money like trash, I will collect that pile of trash so they can live the clean and pure life they dream of. With that, I turned to leave, but heard Lu Ruyan call out behind me. Open the gate, she said. I stopped, turned my head, my eyes indifferent. What for? She glared, her voice sharp. Are you still pretending? We've been standing outside all evening. You got everything you wanted, so aren't you going to let us into the house? Lu Wentao growled, that's right, open the gate, or are you planning to see this through to the end? I smirked, why would you enter my house? The group froze, no one could answer. I slowly continued, my voice deepening, this is my house. If you don't have the right, don't step inside. Lu Ruyan started losing control, slamming hard on the iron gate, the sound clanging loudly in the night. Don't be so excessive. Have you forgotten whose house this is? I folded my arms and replied casually, I haven't forgotten. It's just that I don't intend to let outsiders in. Am I wrong? Call the police. Lu Wentao yelled. We can't let him cause chaos like this. 10 minutes later, the police arrived. After an explanation, they said, Mr. Chi, you two have not completed the divorce procedures, so legally, your wife still has the right to enter the house. I nodded, all right, let her in. Then I raised my hand to stop them, looking straight at the two people behind her. But only her. The other two are not allowed to set foot inside. They are my family. Lu Ruyan screamed, her voice already hoarse. We'll be officially divorced when? I said. They can go wherever they want, but for now, they are still just guests. With the police backing her, Lu Ruyan immediately lifted her head high and walked into the house as if victorious. Lu Wentao deliberately bumped my shoulder as he walked past, jutting out his chin in defiance. The police left a few forms, asked me to sign for confirmation, and then departed. Before I could even close the gate, a shriek echoed from inside the house. Lu Wentao ran down the stairs, his face pale. Chi Boda, where is my watch? Where are all my clothes and belongings? I looked at him, shrugging, I'm not sure. I planned to renovate the house recently, so I had everything cleared out. Perhaps the workers sold it all for scrap. I looked at them, my voice even and devoid of pity. Over the years, you've taken quite a lot from me. Today, I'm just returning fairness. All the watches, designer goods, electronics, and shoes have been liquidated. Whatever was left, I gathered into a pile of trash, and trash should only be outside my house. Lu Ruyan thought that once the divorce paper was signed, everything was over, but she didn't know that the biggest punishment was only just beginning. Her study room, once her private world, the pride and prestige of an intellectual lecturer, was now empty. Every book I bought her, every file, every painting on the wall, all vanished. Before, I loved her so much I traveled everywhere to find old books and rare prints, just to see her smile. And now, I was still the one who took everything away, calm and decisive, just as she had cut me out of her life. You can't leave. I'll call the police. Someone stole my things. Lu Wentao yelled, lunging forward to grab a police officer's arm. Lu Zhengwo also chimed in, there must be an investigation. There must be evidence. Get our property back. The police asked, do you have any invoices or documentation, gentlemen? Both were speechless. They had nothing but a few empty accusations. Their eyes at that moment looked as if they wanted to devour me, but they couldn't fight back. I looked over the threshold where Lu Ruyan was standing. She wasn't wailing like the other two. She just watched silently, her complexion white but still trying to maintain her composure, the poise she always prided herself on as an educated person. She knelt down, her voice choking, Chi Boda, you are truly cruel. You have destroyed my paradise. Before I could answer, Yi Dengcheng ran over, pulled her up, his eyes resolute, don't be afraid. Whatever you lost, I will win it all back. Trust me. I let out a faint chuckle. Lu Wentao seemed to suddenly remember something, rushed over, and delivered a fierce slap to Yi Dengcheng's face. You freeloader. If it weren't for you, how would my sister be in this mess? Why are you hitting me? Yi Dengcheng held his cheek, retreating behind Lu Ruyan. Lu Zhengwo also lunged forward, joining his son in shoving and cursing loudly. Lu Ruyan was caught between them, almost falling from the force of the pulling. It wasn't until the police intervened that she was freed and left with Yi Dengcheng. I watched the chaotic scene through the rearview mirror and drove away. That villa, once a home, was now just an empty shell. I planned to sell it quickly and cheaply, not for the money, but because I didn't want to stay in a place that had long been rotten. The next morning, Lu Ruyan went to the Civil Affairs Bureau for the procedure. With her, of course, was Yi Dengcheng. Everything went smoothly, and we only had to wait for the 1-month cooling-off period. 1 month, just hearing it sounded exhausting. Stepping out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, I tossed her the car keys. "This car is yours." She flushed slightly, wanting to say something but couldn't utter a word. Perhaps because she herself knew the car was originally a birthday gift from me, bought with money I earned. Yi Dengcheng cut in, trying to appear self-respecting. "Keep your car. We don't need it." With that, he snatched the keys from Lu Ruyan's hand and threw them down in front of me. She bent down to pick them up but was pulled away by him, his voice sharp. "Let's go. Don't humiliate yourself further." I simply signaled to Ba Huang. "Pick it up. You drive this car." He smiled and nodded slightly, asking no further questions. Right at that moment, Lu Ruyan's phone rang. She listened to a few sentences, and her face instantly turned pale. Ignoring Yi Dengcheng's question, she rushed over, blocked my car, and pounded on the window. "Chi Boda. What do you mean by withdrawing all my projects? Are you crazy?" I rolled down the window, my voice low. "Who do you think invested in those projects? Your name was just a facade. Now I'm taking back my money. What's wrong with that? You are truly vicious." She trembled with anger. I looked at her for a long time, my eyes cold as iron. "There's one more thing I think you should prepare yourself for." I lowered the car window, took out a few sheets of paper, and gently placed them in her hand. "Don't worry," I said, my voice calm. "I didn't give you cash because I was afraid of hurting your self-esteem. That money, I had the university add to the subsidy fund." I paused briefly, silently looking at her gradually changing face. "Your monthly salary was originally only $6,000. The increase to $30,000 was all the difference I secretly covered, but from now on, that will stop." "You're lying." Lu Ruyan snatched the papers from my hand, flipping through each page. Her eyes were shaky, both disbelieving and afraid to believe. I smiled faintly, my voice light as a whisper. "I spoiled you too much, subsidizing you every year, helping you get projects and reputation. Starting today, I will only help you with one last thing, letting you live up to your own abilities." I slowly rolled the car window back up. Through the small gap, I heard her scream, "You just wait, you'll see a different Lu Ruyan." I didn't reply. I knew Yi Dengcheng was still by her side, still innocently believing that love alone was enough to change everything. But he didn't understand that Lu Ruyan had never known how to save money. Over the years, she was used to spending lavishly, running out of money every month despite an income several times that of others. I merely instructed Ba Huang to arrange generous compensation for the students involved in her projects and find new advisors for them. Those children were all sponsored by me, and it was my own hand that had ensured the security of her teaching career. Now that it was no longer necessary, she could develop herself as she had always wished. I also ordered a complete halt to all investment funds for the school where she worked and made sure the news of our divorce spread. I knew this would cause her position to collapse faster than any court ruling, but that was just material hardship. She still had her ideal man by her side, didn't she? He would lead her toward the light, and I would just count the days, waiting for that 1-month cooling-off period to pass to officially end everything. But I didn't expect the first person to crack to be my ex-father-in-law. Their whole family was used to living off my money, and now they were penniless. Before, I transferred money every month, they never saved, and when it wasn't enough, they would come demanding more. Now that the money was cut off, they panicked and struggled. Rumors spread quickly. Relatives who once envied their comfortable life were now competing to gossip and scorn them. Yesterday they held their heads high, today no one wanted to speak to them. Everywhere he went, my father-in-law was avoided. Humiliated, he didn't dare step out of the shabby rented house. That house was temporarily rented by Lu Ruyan. She moved into the school dormitory, leaving her father and brother there. Her brother went looking for his new girlfriend but found all communication blocked. When they took their father for therapy, they were refused right at the door, on the pretext that the transplant had been cancelled. Their lives suddenly hit rock bottom. There was no money for medicine, and drug debts were unpaid. My father-in-law's body was already weak and quickly deteriorated badly. In desperation, they turned to Lu Ruyan, but this time, she didn't have a penny either. The school, when lending Lu Ruyan the apartment, didn't know about our divorce. Once they understood the full story, they immediately reclaimed the room. She suddenly had no place to live. A monthly salary of around $6,000, having to support her father and brother, no matter how she calculated it, it wasn't enough to live on. The three of them crowded into the dorm, constantly arguing. The sounds of arguments mixed with the dampness and the smell of exhaustion from struggling days. In the midst of this, Yi Dengqing appeared, holding a steaming pot of congee, saying he cooked it for Lu Ruyan, a small gesture of affection. It must be said he was truly persistent. Without the money I had once sponsored, Yi Dengqing was now working 3 jobs at once, just to afford to continue his studies. But that image didn't move anyone in the house. My ex-father-in-law's face flushed crimson when he saw him. He gritted his teeth and shouted, "It's all your fault. This family was perfectly fine and was utterly ruined by you." My brother-in-law couldn't control himself, lunging forward to grab his hair and beat him fiercely. Lu Ruyan just stood there watching, her eyes full of resentment, her voice hoarse as she spoke a sentence cold as a knife cut. "Don't cause trouble anymore. Get out, all of you. I'm being hit. Aren't you going to stop them?" Yi Dengqing's voice was raspy, shielding his head as he backed away. Lu Ruyan turned away. "Don't come here anymore. I have too much to worry about." That single sentence crushed all the belief in his eyes. "You disappointed me. I gave up everything for you." Before he could finish, he was kicked and stumbled onto the floor. My father-in-law yelled at his son to beat the destroyer of other people's families to death. My brother-in-law lunged again, delivering several more kicks that left Yi Dengqing curled up on the ground. "Stop hitting me," he screamed, his eyes red as he stared at Lu Ruyan. "Do you really want me to disappear?" She seemed to snap, screaming in panic. "Get out. Get out of here right now." Before anyone could react, Yi Dengqing sprang up and hugged her tightly. They struggled, staggering toward the hallway. The window was open, the wind blowing hard. In just an instant, 2 bodies fell into the void, the sound of their screams tearing through the space. My father-in-law rushed to the window, looked down, and passed out. The 11th floor, no one could have survived. I learned the news through the surveillance video that Ba Huang sent me. Watching the screen, I was silent for a long time, no longer angry, no longer hateful. I packed my belongings, took my 2 children, and left that place, as if stepping out of a rotten dream. It was all over. I heard that not long after, my father-in-law also passed away. My brother-in-law vanished without a trace, no one knew where he went. That night, I softly spoke a single sentence, like a farewell to my own past. "Rest in peace, all of you."